Mr. Pritam Singh.
Chairman, sir, ASEAN commemorated its 50th anniversary last year. As a pioneer founder of ASEAN and as a respected and constructive diplomatic stakeholder, it is apposite that Singapore finds itself as the first chair of ASEAN after the celebration of its Golden Jubilee in 2017. It is apposite because Singapore is seen as an important thought leader both within and outside ASEAN. Singapore has the potential to shape and determine the substance of the discussions that take precedence between our regional partners because of our reputation as an honest broker. Singapore has chosen the themes of resilience and innovation as its chairmanship tagline, with a view to build a future-ready ASEAN which is adaptable and forward-looking. In addition to the variety of issues that Singapore would be pursuing under its chairmanship is the model ASEAN extradition treaty. The prospect of such a treaty is potentially an important development in addressing some of Singapore's bilateral flashpoints that have reared their ugly head in the past, at times with certain political leaders in Indonesia. Such an extradition treaty could inject a newfound trust and confidence into the Singapore-Indonesia relationship, which, like ASEAN, also celebrated its Golden Jubilee last year. Singapore's chairmanship of ASEAN this year presents a signature opportunity for MFA to showcase strong thought leadership to push for an early agreement on the model extradition treaty that would support the rule of law within ASEAN and catalyze the signing of bilateral extradition treaties between neighboring countries. Does the Minister have any preliminary timeline with regard to discussions on the model extradition treaty? ASEAN is also committed to the ambitious objective under the aegis of the ASEAN Economic Community of doubling intra-ASEAN trade between 2017 and 2025. Last year, Singapore announced that it was focusing on steps to enhance e-commerce through the National Trade Platform, a one-stop trade platform for customs clearance, trade logistics, and trade finance. Alongside this specific initiative, it would also appear that the prospect of the ASEAN single window would allow local Singaporean businesses to connect to more customers throughout ASEAN. Mr. Chairman, all foreign policy begins at home, and I request some information from the Minister on the roles the Ministry plays from a whole-of-government perspective in translating foreign policy initiatives into economic outcomes for enterprises in Singapore in view of our economic transformation plans. Finally, the Minister has gone on record in the aftermath of the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting earlier this month to say that discussions on the Code of Conduct for the South China Sea are likely to be very complicated even as the situation is a lot calmer. Mr. Chair, one of ASEAN's interests in the COC is to ensure that the trade and movement of sea traffic, particularly commercial traffic, is unimpeded. It would appear that China's interests in the South China Sea are territorial to the extent that it wants a high degree of control of its immediate backyard, behavior which does not appear to be primarily driven by a desire to bully ASEAN, but rather is more consistent with modern big power behavior in regions adjacent to its immediate borders, regardless of whether such a power is an Anglo-Saxon one or not. What more can Singapore do to smooth over the concerns China has over the South China Sea and secure a stable future between ASEAN and China going forward?